Hey there, my name is Wilson. I've been playing poker for 8 years. 2022 was one of my most interesting years playing poker by far, so I wanted to share a little bit about that year with you today, as well as announce some plans I have for 2023 in relation to poker as well. So we can get started with my slideshow. In early 2022, the first half of 2022, I was playing Texas Hold'em cash games in tournaments. Most of those were around here in Houston. I would go to a local card room once or twice a week in order to play some Texas Hold'em. And I also had a couple of poker related trips, one of which to the World Series of Poker in July. And it was there that I started to experience some burnout from the game of poker. So when we're talking about Texas Hold'em, we're talking about the variant that is the most popular. Even non-poker players know about Texas Hold'em. You get two cards in your hand. There's three cards on the flop, one card on the turn, one card on the river. There's betting action, and so on and so forth. That's the variant that most people are familiar with, and that's the variant of poker that is portrayed in most media. What comes to mind are the Casino Royale movies, James Bond. Those are Texas Hold'em hands that are being played. So this is the most popular variant, and this was the variant that I was most interested in for the first 7.5 years of playing. But after experiencing this burnout from the World Series, or maybe from the past 8 years, I started to think of ways to combat this burnout. Think of what to do about this burnout, and one of the ways I thought to fight it and become more passionate about the game again was to pick up another variant of poker. So that's exactly what I did. I started studying and playing a poker variant called Pot Limit Omaha. And the main difference between Omaha and Texas Hold'em is that in Omaha, you get four cards in your hand, whereas you get two in Texas Hold'em. So it's in this way that this game is quite unique, and there are a lot of differences in strategy between Hold'em and Omaha. Now, I say I dedicated myself to the game because not only was I putting in the hours at the table, but I was also studying excellent content as well as using top tier software, poker software, in order to study and improve at a rapid rate. I also needed to learn at a high level, so I did that as well with these courses, but I was also optimizing my time studying by making sure that I was using the software correctly, as well as studying the best content in order to get better faster. Now, this time period, this 5 month time period, was successful in that I made about $21,000 playing 1-3 Pot Limit Omaha. Most of these hours, I'd say about 300 of them, are from playing somewhere in Texas, whether that be here in Houston or a couple of the clubs I visited in Austin. The rest of the time, about 40 or so hours, that would have been in Tulsa, Los Angeles, or Las Vegas, or Louisiana, where I visited and played briefly during this time period. So yeah, I made $21,000, and looking at this data, you might be saying, those are incredible results over 5 months. You were able to make $21,000. That's really solid. But the truth of the matter is that I feel I still suck at Pot Limit Omaha. I still feel that I'm very bad at Pot Limit Omaha. And someone might be looking at these results and saying, that can't be the case. Clearly you're solid. You're able to turn profit over a long period of time. But that just isn't the case. And I wanted to talk about why I was able to do this without necessarily being an excellent player. But first, we have to understand why the games in Texas are different and better than they are in the rest of the United States and possibly the world. So, when you're thinking about anything and competing in anything, if you want to win, would you rather play against people who are new to what you were doing or people who have been doing what you're doing for a little bit? The obvious answer is going to be you're going to want to play more often against newer people because newer people don't have as much experience in the game and therefore are better to play with, or easier to play against and do well. So, because poker rooms are newer to Texas, they popped up here in the past 7 or 8 years. There are a higher percentage of newer players or players that are just getting into the game. And because of this higher percentage, it's just more likely that you'll sit down at a profitable table here in Texas than it is if you sat down at any given table in another state. Another reason is because we have a bunch of recreational players. So, keeping in mind the last slide where I talked about me studying Pot Limit Omaha as well as playing, these are the kinds of players who will never put an hour of studying into their game and are simply at the table just to have fun. Win or lose, they're having fun. They're not worried about their win rate or their hourly rate. Of course, they want to walk away with a win, but they're not putting in any work in their game to do so. They're not downloading software to study their game. They might be watching the occasional YouTube video, but they're not studying as efficiently or as rapidly. They're playing for fun, and having a higher percentage of these players is very similar to having a higher percentage of new players in that it just makes the game better. You want to play against these players who aren't putting as much time into working on their game. And also, a small reason comparatively to these first two is that there's a lot of money coming into Texas cities right now. Whether it be Houston, Dallas, or Austin, or anywhere in between, there are a bunch of people and a bunch of companies that are moving to Texas. And in that way, money is being brought to the cities here in Texas, and therefore the poker ecosystem is also experiencing a bump in that there's new money in here. There's lots of money in the poker ecosystem that is up for grabs and in the hands of these new players. And lastly, kind of the point that is most relevant to myself is that good players, because of all of these factors, there being more money, more new players, and more recreational players here in Texas, it's easier to turn a profit here in Texas playing poker. You don't have to put in as much work here on your game here in Texas as I would if I lived elsewhere and wanted to profit in the same way that I did in the past 5 months. So it's because of this that while I did turn profit here in Texas, I still feel that I'm not a winner in other states. I still feel that I'm a break-even player, if not a losing player, in other states. And it's because of this that I wanted to spend 2023 improving at the game, and I was thinking about fun ways to do that. So I decided to start a bankroll challenge. So I am still bad at PLO, right? Even though I've turned a profit, and I want to improve, and I want to improve fast. So Pot Limit Omaha Live, when you're playing in person, you only get about 20 to 25 hands in per hour. So if I play online and I'm able to play multiple tables, I can get in, 20 times that within an hour, if not more. So that's my plan. I'm planning on playing Pot Limit Omaha online, and that will help me improve faster because I'm getting more hands in. And at the same time I'm doing that, I am starting a bankroll challenge. So I'm going to start with $500 playing low stakes Pot Limit Omaha online. And over the course of this year, I'm going to attempt to grow that number to 5,000, strictly playing Pot Limit Omaha online and using what I learn and using hopefully my improvements to move up stakes and earn more money until I get to that 5,000 mark. So I thought it would be fun to stream this. So I'm going to stream my play at least twice a week, with maybe an occasional weekend day. I am going to grind off stream. I am going to play off stream, but I did want to announce that I am doing a bankroll challenge, and a lot of it will be streamed on the Tuesdays and Thursdays of this year. I really hope you'll join me. I'm going to try and focus on strategy in Omaha, although I am new, so you'll have to take it with a grain of salt, of course. And I'm also going to focus on the kind of mindset that it takes to be a successful poker player. Because I feel that part is where I have an edge, a distinct edge, not necessarily against people in Texas, but in general. And we'll use that to improve at Potlib in Omaha, and play online on betonline.ag is going to be the site, and hopefully improve. And I'd love to have you along for the journey. I will link my Twitch below. But yeah, that's what happened in 2022. And this bankroll challenge is what I will be looking to do in 2023. It's going to be a lot of fun. I feel like I've said that a few times, but I'm excited about it. And I'm hoping to get a couple of you excited as well. So I hope you'll come check me out when it starts. I'll be making announcements on my social media. I appreciate you for watching this far. And I hope to see some of you guys in the stream. All right. See you later.